The papers were shifting across the mahogany desk as though moved by some unseen breath. Silence pressed in the room. The only sound was the soft scratching of ink against parchment, and then the soft click of a safe door unlatching in the distant corridor. No one spoke. No one moved. But in that frozen moment, a secret long buried, a betrayal disguised by loyalty, was about to be exposed. The envelope slid forward, the gold seal cracked, and beneath the seal, the pages trembled in her hands, testimony to a life built on deception. She swallowed. The air was heavy. In those seconds, everything she believed about her family, about her husband, about her children, was unraveling. Before we go deeper into this chilling case, I'd love to know, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city or country in the comments. And as the details unfold, tell us, do you believe this was an act of greed, betrayal, or something darker? Also, if you're drawn to haunting mysteries like this one, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps us keep these secrets exposed and bring you more stories that the world should never forget. Years ago, in the quiet suburbs of a Midwestern town, the Whitmores seemed the perfect family. In 1983, Nathaniel Whitmore, a small-town attorney, married Evelyn Clark, a graceful woman gentle of speech and quiet in presence. He was respected, a habitual volunteer at civic functions, always with tidy suits, impeccable courtesy, soft laughter in his voice. She was known in the church choir, a reliable presence at charity dinners, kind to children, hostess to neighbors. Together, they purchased the Victorian home on Maple Street, raising two children, Lydia and Benjamin, in a house built on tradition, Sunday dinners, holiday gatherings, and the assumption that secrets didn't exist in families like theirs. By 2005, Nathaniel's quiet practice had grown. He handled wills, estate planning, real estate closings. The townspeople trusted him. Evelyn was content, or so it seemed. Lydia grew into a thoughtful young woman, studying literature at the State University. Benjamin followed in his father's footsteps, eventually returning to the hometown to practice law. The Whitmore name was respected. The turning point came after Nathaniel's sudden death in 2012. He died of a heart attack in his office on a rainy November evening. The shock rippled through the community. Evelyn appeared stoic, composed at the memorial, gloves white and face calm. She requested private mourning. But in the months after, murmurs began to stir. Questions about the will, odd ledger entries, real estate deals no one remembered. Lydia and Benjamin, each expected to inherit the house, part of the trust, perhaps investments Nathaniel had built. Instead, Evelyn controlled everything. Evelyn's hold tightened. She claimed that Nathaniel left only a modest estate. They would have to sell property, liquidate shares, divvy what few assets remained. Lydia, struggling with student debt and teaching salary, protested. Benjamin, now practicing law in his father's former office, demanded full accounting. Evelyn refused. Documents vanished. Files were lost in estate settlement or misplaced in transition. Benjamin, frustrated, began quietly probing. Suspicions grew. Late at night, Lydia would sneak into her childhood room, rifling through dusty boxes, hoping for a clue. She found scribbled notes, bank account numbers crossed out, references to a safe deposit box at a small regional bank. Evelyn always said Nathaniel did those business things. Let her handle the daily finances. Lydia believed her, but now doubt flickered in her mind. It was in 2017, 5 years after Nathaniel's death, that a quiet letter arrived. No return address, no signature, simply an envelope with the Whitmore crest and gold imprint. Inside, scanned copies of documents, account statements, real estate appraisals, and a note. Look in the safe. Evelyn's composure fractured. She dismissed it as a prank, but Lydia sensed the shift. Over the next months, Lydia and Benjamin met in secret. They hired an independent forensic accountant, one who would not be known to Evelyn. They dug through tax returns, bank statements, transaction ledgers. The pattern emerged. Funds had been diverted, properties quietly reassigned, shell corporations established in obscure counties. Their mother had, allegedly, orchestrated a labyrinth of financial maneuvers that hid assets and stripped the children of their rightful legacy. One night in early 2018, Benjamin visited his mother's little home on the edge of town. The dining room lamp glowed low. Evelyn served tea. Benjamin remained calm, voice soft but firm. "Mother, I know more than you think." Evelyn's eyes flickered. He slid a manila envelope across the table. She stared. He said, We have documents, ledgers, statements. We can demand an accounting, or we can discover what you hid. Evelyn said nothing, and in that silence, betrayal weighed heavier than words. Then came the near discovery. The family safe, hidden behind a false wall in the basement utility room, nearly collapsed when the drywall cracked and fragments fell. A water pipe leak had weakened the structure. Benjamin, investigating a dampness issue, had found a faint outline, the shape of a hidden cavity. His heart raced. He knocked gently. Behind that wall lay the safe, the silent container of decades of secrets. They halted. They retreated. That moment hung in the air. One more push, one misstep, and everything might leak out. Evelyn, convinced they cowered, said nothing. She locked the basement door. The safe remained intact, for now. But what they found in that safe later exposed everything. Inside was a ledger book, sealed and leather-bound. Bank statements from phantom accounts in offshore jurisdictions, deeds to remote properties in Oregon and Texas, transferred quietly to names Evelyn controlled. Years of checks, payments, trust transfers, withdrawal slips. And in a locked envelope, Nathaniel's heavily initialed will, revised in 2011, bequeathing the major estate not to Evelyn, but split equally between Lydia and Benjamin, with instructions to establish a foundation in Nathaniel's name. Suddenly, their mother's posture, so composed in public, seemed fractured in memory. The betrayal was not a byproduct of grief, not a whim. It was calculated, sustained, decades in the making. But Evelyn did not surrender. She claimed forgery. She insisted Nathaniel's final will was the one presented in her name. She threatened lawsuit, countersuit, litigation that would bankrupt the siblings. And in public, she remained quiet, demure, the grieving widow. The community stood with her. No one fathomed she, of all people, could be hiding a lie. When Benjamin threatened to file a motion to unseal the records, Evelyn's lawyer moved first. Restraining orders, gag provisions, delays. They argued chain of custody, questioned the authenticity of the documents taken from the safe. Evelyn said she had misplaced Nathaniel's original papers. The ones they had were imposters. The siblings' forensic accountant was cross-examined for every discrepancy, every misalignment. Evelyn's attorneys accused Lydia and Benjamin of tortious interference and undue influence. Investigators entered. A local judge allowed a neutral handwriting expert to examine the will. The safe's contents were locked in evidence, every document cataloged. The shell corporations in remote states were subpoenaed. Bank executives in foreign jurisdictions were asked to freeze accounts. Depositions were taken from neighbors, church associates, business partners. Some recalled Evelyn's insistence on secrecy, her strange midnight meetings with mysterious men, her insistence that Nathaniel was too busy to bother with small paperwork. The forensic handwriting analysis came back. The revised 2011 will bore striking similarities to Nathaniel's known signature, but the expert could not conclusively state it matched. Some alterations looked forced, some initials scanned poorly. Evelyn's attorneys mobilized their own handwriting consultants. The legal battle raged. Each new discovery exposed new layers of complexity. Was Evelyn an embezzler, or a widow protecting what she believed was hers? Was Lydia's determination filial duty, or greed? In deposition, Lydia said quietly, "Mother, I loved you, but I need to know what you did to my father." And to Bonheur, Evelyn's expression hardened. She responded softly, "I did what I had to. He trusted me. He made me promise I would protect us." The courtroom sat silent. As the suit dragged on into 2020, public interest increased. Local newspapers published front-page exposés. Former colleagues of Nathaniel came forward, citing odd payments, off-book account changes. Some noted that immediately before his death, Nathaniel had expressed frustration to confidants. He felt someone was manipulating the books, shifting funds without him noticing. Evelyn denied all. In 2021, Evelyn, pressured by discovery, bank freezes, and internal leaks, confessed under oath to holding hidden assets. She admitted she moved funds to shell entities, quietly transferred properties, and withheld documents from her children. But she claimed she did so believing she was preserving the family. She insisted she intended eventually to share everything. She denied forging Nathaniel's will. That revelation devastated Lydia and Benjamin. The woman they had trusted as mother had stolen from them. The judge, in a final ruling, ordered Evelyn to relinquish control of the hidden assets, divide the estate per the 2011 will, and pay damages. Evelyn appealed. The family was fractured forever. Lydia moved away. Benjamin carried on the legal work, but contact with his mother became infrequent and tense. Evelyn, older now, lives in the house that once held their memories. The stained walls hold echoes of laughter, now hollow. The community, once sympathetic, now whispers of that widow whose lie was exposed. In the aftermath, Lydia said in a media interview, "I lost my father twice, first to death, second to the erasure of his voice. The secrets she kept were meant to last forever, but they were meant to be exposed." Benjamin remarried, wary of trust. Evelyn maintains her innocence in the public eye, speaks softly in interviews, claiming betrayal of her own. She calls it a war on her character. The cost was not money. It was family. It was betrayal. It was love warped by secrecy. In the end, justice might have been served, assets redistributed, courts deciding. But decades of silence, of hidden motions, of whispered confessions, they cannot be undone. In her silence, she shattered the faith her children held. In her lies, she excised herself from the love they once shared. The safe stands empty now. The shadows in the home linger. The truth was exposed, but the damage is irrevocable. Sometimes the darkest secrets are the ones we keep from the people we love. And in this case, the truth was exposed, but the damage was already done. Are we ever truly safe from betrayal? Not in love, not in family. The hands that comfort us may also conceal our undoing. Do you think justice was truly served? Or are there still secrets left buried? Share your theories in the comments below. And if you want us to continue exposing the world's darkest family secrets and betrayals, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story we bring to light.